more game left on WARF Radio for this year's AFLW. That's tomorrow, 12:35pm Melbourne time. Carlton play St Kilda at Icon Park. That will be the 41st. We had to cut one today. The 41st and last game for WARF Radio this year. It's been a privilege, and the person who made most of it happen in Queensland is the next voice you'll hear, Mr. Chris Hint.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Peter Holden there, the great man who's able to... Pete Holden's the...
I'll praise him later, all right? I was trying to get
Oh, thank you.
I have enough to get around.
The second home here in Brisbane, but it is a privilege to get the opportunity to see Melbourne lighted up here on the big stage, the reigning premiers, and they're kicking to the right of your streaming service, and that's where the ball goes. They will have a free kick. They'll be a long way out from goal. If I'm going to pump the ball inside the forward 50, there's Lily Mithen. It'll land about 30 metres out, and mark has been taken by Brisbane. Big shout out to Jess and Dave. Jess being the cousin of Lily, who'll be watching on or listening on tonight. Appreciate you jumping on board all the way from Geelong. Big hello to the kids out there. Good family coverage here as the ball is at half forward on the far side of the ground, and it will go to the Brisbane Lions. Will have the free kick.
So the Lions have the free kick at right half back.
Apologies, it is Melbourne.
Sorry, Melbourne has a free kick. They're running through Heath at centre half forward. She goes up towards the hot spot. The defensive mark is taken brilliantly from, I fancy that's Poppy Bolts. No, in fact, that's Talia Hickey at the back. And Hickey's work around the ground, she usually doesn't get mentioned in the same breath as other rucks, probably because she's just kicked the ball away to Blaheen Mackin. So commentators curse alive and well. Mackin, horrible kick off the outside of the boot, picked off again by Ellie Hampson. And it's just a mark. In fact, it was Monaghan. And she finds Dawes at left halfback. So I think it's the first kick in about 5 that was not turned over straight away. Dawes, left halfback. Chris.
Yeah, it's been a long season, Daniel. It has been a long season. We've done nearly probably close to 100 games between us, or bordering on across the year. We're having a chat to the umpires coach tonight, and you have umpires who come through the VFL and then they're straight in the AFLW season. With practice matches included, they're running games from February through to November. It's an extraordinary season from most of the umpires that we're seeing out there across the year, as well as callers alike. As Pearce hacks the ball up towards centre half forward there, and looking for Zanka. We're going to try and etch her mark on winning the league goal kicking this year. We'll see a stoppage 40 metres out from goal.
Well, this is where Melbourne want the footy. They need to create scoreboard pressure very early on here.
35 metres out from goal here, Melbourne. They must get one, and they are a good enough team to put goals on the board in a hurry as Ellinger sidesteps her opponent for disposal number 20 to be the leading player in that stat for the game. Mark on the outer wing for the Lions. They've got Smith further up a field at centre half forward. She likes to go on the outside, hits the deck, doesn't go 15, out to Ellinger. She finds her teammate on the far wing. So Brisbane now up towards high half forward, all alone. Is that Ali Anderson out there?
Yeah, here's this uncontested game that we spoke about earlier. So just being patient here, looking for the uncontested mark.
Mackin playing loose in defence there for Melbourne as a kick dribbles out towards the boundary line on the outer side. Melbourne look to recover. Purcell sees the ball out of bounds. We'll see a throw in. With 3 minutes gone here in the final term, it's Brisbane 52, lead Melbourne 25. Daniel Viles.
Whatever wind there was here, which wasn't great, seems to have died off, although as I say that, just a few ponytails blowing around again. Where's the gridometer? I'll look for that later. Boundary throw-in on the right wing, Brisbane's perspective. Lands with Pearce. Didn't get a great handball away, but got it through to Purcell. Purcell's been good in patches tonight. Got it up towards Sheriff. Sheriff was tied up in a very fierce tackle from, wasn't Ellinger, it was Brie Conan. But I would recommend that Ellinger may have best on ground tonight. While she's always good, she wouldn't get many best on grounds. Outer zone umpires found a free kick, holding the player off the ball, and the free kick will go to Hanks. Hanks lays it up to Harris. She takes a mark, 48 out, looks to play on fairly quickly. Pumps it up towards the goal square, was looking for Zanka, misses the contest, ends up bouncing into the right behind post. So it will be a boundary throw-in next to that behind post. Melbourne's attacking goal.
We're seeing the footy where Melbourne want it, but just haven't been able to get any conversion.
Live ladder, Adelaide v Brisbane next week is the likely cards over in Adelaide in the qualifying final as Svark arches the back of the Cathy variety, squeezes the kick out. Lovely work by Melbourne to try and bottle it in, but it's taken there by All-Roads-Wire here for Brisbane, up towards the commentary wing. Defensive spoil there from Gillard, who's been very good all night. All-Roads-Wire follows up her footy. Davidson was on the wrong postcode, looking for Dawes. She was also on the wrong postcode, but Dawes, relentless as ever, gets it out now to Courtney Hodder here on the commentary wing. Squeezes the kick out over the top of the outstretched arms there, a Postlethwaite, and a free kick will go to Melbourne through Geordie Ivey across halfback.
Little funny moment there. I think we were all in awe of Dwyer's running game. So was Davison, and she popped the ball up. Davison wasn't ready for it.
No, thought, I probably should take a handball here and cop one in the mush instead. Eliza West on the just back of right wing. The bit of friendly fire knocked the ball away from Hickey, but it went back to Taylor Smith. Ended up with Fitzsimons, however. She got the turnover, knocks it inside 50. Mithen gets it towards the goal square. Shelley Heath kicks her behind. She ran onto the ball in the goal square. In fact, she may have missed the lot. No, it is a minus score. Shelley Heath, forward, not her natural position. She did kick a couple of goals against Collingwood first round of the season, but enterprising play from Melbourne only yields a single point, which is exactly what they scored in the third quarter.
And this is what, when you come on from behind, right, everything's rushed. So 2 shots on goal, 2 behinds.
The boring part for Melbourne is that in over quarters 1, 3 and now 4, they've kicked just 1 goal too against a team that is bouncing back after a disappointing loss last week, as Chaplin has recovered after an early knock in that third term. She comes to her feet, takes a strong mark there for Melbourne, up towards high half forward, through the outstretched arms there of Harris. Campbell spins it out now to Mullins. Lily Mithen, GAW and gone. Free kick, beautiful tackle there for the D's.
I was worried we weren't going to get a GAWN tonight, Chris, but you didn't let me down. Final quarter.
And I'm glad it's Lily Mithen as well. Again, big shout out to Jess and Dave listening in tonight down in Melbourne. Ball inside the forward 50 here for the D's. Zanka squeezes it out now. Kick along the boundary line up towards the top of the square. Looking for a teammate. Socket off the ground. And then it's touched. Alyssa Bannon. Opportunity goes begging. Margin back to 25 points. Nearly 7 gone here in the third. Final turn.
Desperation defence there by Brisbane.
And who was it who made the desperation defence?
Jade Ellinger.
This is probably the best individual game. Like, I don't remember ever saying Jade Ellinger best on ground before. She's always good, but tonight I feel she's been outstanding.
I just think the switch to halfback wing has just been a really good move from Craig. I think we get the most out of her.
Now, Chris, looks like we may be having a second decision here.
No, sorry, I did think the umpire was pointing for a score review, but it is Ellinger coming off the ground with a blood rule.
Well, she put her body on the line before. Essentially, the reason that Melbourne couldn't get a clean kick away is because Jade Ellinger put whatever body part was available in the way. Listen to this.
Well, that body part was her face.
That's the way they responded for Belle Dawes in the game here against Adelaide. And tonight, I suspect that Jade Ellinger's reputation's gone up a few levels. They kick out from the back, cleared the 50, and then both Gillard and Davidson went up for it with one hand. Then in the end, the only result was a boundary throw-in. 48 from the goal that Melbourne is attacking. So they haven't quite cleared the 50. As at one stage, the Rucks weren't sure which side of the 50 the boundary throw-in was going to be. Harris got the outer hand to it, knocked it outside the 50. It fell to Postlethwaite. She gets outside 50. Hampson on the left wing got first hands to it. Luckily, it fell to Hodder. Her kick was smothered straight away. Hanks working hard in defence. Has to run around Davidson. Clever kick with the outside, found West.
Sophie Conway playing as an extra in defence for Brisbane.
As the ball is moved inside to Heath. Heath moving it left. Melbourne trying to switch the play, but kicked into an area where Brisbane had a +1. Postlethwaite got the turnover, then found Ellie Hampson inside of right wing, shall we say, and she slows things down on the right-hand side.
Ellie Hampson here for Brisbane. Lowers her eyes. Finds a teammate who switches it out towards the commentary side, looking for Poppy Bolts, and she marks on the AFLW logo, which is the attacking side of the ground for the Lions. They lead. Well, my score sheet says 25 points. We've got 27 to 82. As Hodder squeezes a kick inside the forward 50, looking for Davidson. Bounces off her chest, 50 metres out from goal. Handball over the top, hacked, well, majestically there from Ali Anderson. the D's with a booming kick up towards the middle of Michael Voss Oval or Brighton Homes Arena, whichever you prefer. Purcell was the player in the gun there. She can't quite get to the ball there for the D's. And we'll see a ball up. It's Melbourne trailing this one by 4 goals.
So Brisbane will be using this opportunity to practice protecting a lead here going into finals.
Which is one of the things that Craig Starcevich loved about the win over Adelaide, their ability to manage the clock in the final moments. As Taylor Harris got the clearance, took a couple of steps, was brought down. Sophie Conway had the hands horizontal. Umpire had whistle in mouth. Ball up next to the centre circle. Hickey got hands to it, went straight to West. She ran into traffic. We're not getting out of here. If Brisbane had the ball, they'd be playing tempo. They're kind of getting it by default with repeat stoppages.
Conway's been pushed up onto the wing now.
So back in her natural habitat as again the ball didn't really clear the contest. Anderson had it. Her handball went straight to Heath. Eventually went out of the contest and found McNamara. She pushed it forward onto the Rainbow 50. Conan, who's been mighty in defence tonight, got it to Ruby Spark, didn't go 15. Onto the boot of West it was turned over. She goes inside 50. Dunn is tracking back in defence behind Zanka. First game this season where she has not scored. Still a bit of time left. Eventually it will go over the boundary line in Melbourne's left forward pocket. They're probably about 15 metres left of the goal.
In front of the Go Eden banner that's out there in the forward pocket.
Well, her cousin has played a lot of Quaffle W. That's Emily Zanka Close.
One of the talented young player too. Here's a chance here for Melbourne. Rue Harris, she throws her weight around and we'll see a boundary throw in. Of course, the race for the league-leading goal kicker is still on track. We've got Zanka and Kate Hoare both locked on 20 goals apiece. So at this stage, we've got a draw, which would be the same as the VFL. That's how the men's went. An up and under kick here from Melbourne. Went 15 up, went 2 across. Lovely tackle laid there by McNamara there on a Brisbane defender. But 15 up, 2 across. Still at this stage spells a Brisbane victory for those playing crosswords at home. Daniel Viles.
Yeah, the answer is levitation. As still in the right forward pocket, the snap from Zanka was, in the end, it's gone through for a minor score. So they've finally been able to break the deck of cards. Brisbane on 52 had the full deck. For a long time, Melbourne only had the clubs and spades, but now they've got up to 27. So Brisbane will kick out from the right of the field as we look at it, from in front of the clubhouse. Goes to a contest. Davidson versus Gillard has been mighty all night. A looping handball went to Mullen. She was crunched on impact. Gillard picked up the crumbs and then was brought to ground spectacularly. And then did she have an opportunity to release and not take it? The umpire was on the blind side and so had no way of knowing. The crowd, well, they might have given a different decision. The unqualified plebeians. There's another ball up, 70 from Melbourne's goal. Running onto the front of it is Eliza West. She was under pressure from Hodder, and that pressure from Hodder enabled the ball to be turned over to Conan. Story of the night, really.
Yeah, look, Brisbane have done a really good job. Well, Melbourne have gone more inside 50s, but bad shots on goal, like from tough spots.
Bolts there for the Lions. Kick out towards the outer wing. Mark dropped there on the outer side there by Melbourne on a strong one-on-one contest. The cavalry come through. We'll see a stoppage as Smith, Kathy Svark and Conway come onto the ground here for the D's while waiting to come onto the ground. Sorry, for Brisbane. Geordie Ivey looking to come onto the ground here for Melbourne, waiting her opportunity. Plays on the other side. Stoppage. Melbourne bomb the ball up towards high half forward there. Lovely spoil there from Shannon Campbell. Ball hits the deck as Melbourne look to try and make the most of this opportunity now. Not forthcoming. Umpire thought about holding the ball. Allowed it to continue, realised no prior opportunity. Brisbane with the extra one, the defensive side of the ground, and Melbourne will go through and take a strong mark taken there by Libby Birch on the outer wing.
Birch attacked the contest. She goes towards the 50. Getting underneath it was Hoare, and because she went without it, went to Campbell, whose kick seemed to falcon an opponent, possibly Eliza West, and she was tackled immediately by Kathy Svark because that's what Kathy Svark does.
She's been good tonight.
Good for about the last 4 years, but I take you... Sorry, that wasn't meant to be sound like I was correcting you. Just, she's a coach. In fact, she's been awarded a free kick, Kathy Svark. It was holding the ball, so she'll have a free kick about 60 out from her own goal, just to the right. Looks for the short kick in the form of Hodder and turned it over. The contest results in a kick to Lauren Pearce. She goes inside. It wasn't the greatest kick. Nat Grider has her nose taped on. It went to a Melbourne player who kicked it down the throat of Conan. You're right, it was Zanka before. Sorry about that.
So their league-leading goal kicker award was going to Zanka as a standalone.
So Brisbane have been able to defuse it. They have the ball in their defence. Goes to Grider, who manages to see through the tape on her nose, kick it into the right back pocket, finds Talia Hickey. Very tempo. This is time management from Brisbane. 2 minutes 50 on the official clock remaining in this match. Not a classic match because the margin's too big, but it's one that'll make a coach very proud. Mackin got the ball inside 50 towards the goal square, bounced off the chest of Campbell, who looks disappointed at herself for not taking the mark. There'll be yet another boundary throw. We must have had about 10 boundary throw-ins in that same pocket tonight, which is the one right in front of the clubhouse, just near the players' race, right-hand side, at the train station end.
I think Melbourne coaching staff will be pleased that they haven't rolled over here. They've really worked hard to get themselves inside 50, but just can't kick the goal.
Ball in the forward pocket here for Melbourne. They have a shot on goal. And it's a minus score. Able to identify who kicked that out of the snap.
Official crowd attendance is 3,004.
3,004 is the official crowd as Brisbane run it out from the left. Beautiful work from Jen Dunn. Stepped inside Shelley Heath. Keeps it up the left. The ball lands in no woman's land as I think 3 players lost it in the lights. Anderson got a handball from the wreckage. Went through to Kathy Spark underneath Hodder, which is not an easy feat. And then lands in a crowd of about 7 players who all played probably passed the parcel down there. With the Pride football, I suggested they were just trying to remove the logo. That's not actually what they were trying to do. Dakota Davidson in the ruck, got it back to Dawes, and then behind the contest is Ellinger. Ellinger straight up the guts. The contest has no winner. Ruby Spark pops it inside 50. The foot race is on. Shelley Heath, in tremendous pace, went without it. Conway went for a snap, was brought down by Chaplin. Able to clear the 50 through Heath, and then a settling mark taken by Fitzsimon. She plays through the middle, over the back of the contest. It fell in the path of Dunn, all the way back to Grider, and she goes calmly wide to Campbell.
So Campbell there on the outer side, therefore the Brisbane Lions, who are on their way to a qualifying final against Adelaide on the road next week. And if results stand true to form, Gold Coast will host a home final at Heritage Bank Stadium next week as well. We'll keep the Queenslanders in their first finals appearance, dual finals appearance in the AFLW history, as Kathy Spark sprints to goal and goes through for a minus score as we are deep in the final stages of this one.
In fact, Gold Coast are now locked in 5th.
So they'll get a home final next week.
And at this stage, they're playing the Swans, but there are quite a few other possible opponents next week. So the Lions visiting Adelaide, as the minus score to Brisbane. So they're 53. Their first point for the quarter. There's only 33 seconds left. Melbourne clear well over the back of the contest, but it goes to Ellie Anderson. The handballing's working well. They go through Dawes. She plays towards the centre of the field. It came off Chaplin, who's been good tonight. Played a 1-2 with Gillard. In fact, it was Gall. Gall goes route 1. Bree Conan takes intercept mark number 412 for the night. She will play right. Goes out towards Aula O'Dwyer. Has West in front of her. Goes for the good old Gaelic-style kick across the middle of the ball to a contest. Birch playing high. Melbourne, as Beck Randazzo said, they haven't given up, but they have conceded the 4 points. Brisbane with a win that Craig Starswich will love, 53-28. Final score at Brighton Homes Arena. Brisbane 8-5-53 have defeated Melbourne 4-4-28. For Brisbane, their 8 goals, 2 to Dakota Davidson and Sophie Conway. 1 inch to Ruby Spark, Taylor Smith, Charlie Mullins and Ellie Hampson. Melbourne's 4 goals came courtesy of Casey Sheriff, Taylor Harris, Tyler Hanks and Kate Hoare.